Going live. Welcome to Split Bill. I am the Bill. And in a moment, the screen will be split, and I'll be joined all the way from Whitehorse, Yukon Territory by Gordie Tentrees. And Gordie's an old pal of mine, and we've been through some campaigns together, and look forward to catching up with Gordie and hearing all about what he's been up to and hearing some songs. So I'm going to sing an old John Prine song requested by my wife, the lovely JJ Pasalacqua. All the snow has turned to water. Christmas Day has come and gone. Broken toys and faded colors are all that's left to linger on. I hate graveyards and old pawn shops, for they always bring me tears. I can't forgive the way they've robbed me of my sweetheart, my childhood souvenirs. Memories can't be bought, they can't be won at carnivals for free. It took me years to get those souvenirs. I don't know how they slipped away from me. Broken hearts and dirty windows make life difficult to see. That's why last night and this morning always look the same to me. I hate reading old love letters, for they always bring me tears. I can't forgive the way they've robbed me of my sweetheart souvenirs. Memories can't be bought, they can't be won at carnivals for free. It took me years to get those souvenirs. I don't know how they slipped away from me. Souvenirs, one of the great songs by the late great John Prine. I don't know if anybody caught it, but I posted a couple of videos yesterday on my YouTube channel, and I shared it on Facebook. They're both John Prine songs. I was originally supposed to be part of a benefit on Saturday night, and for some reason, well, for reasons I could enumerate at length, but will not, it didn't happen for me. And but I learned the songs for the thing, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and record them, and I finally got them up on YouTube, and I shared them. Hey, how you doing, Gordie?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just chilling. I put some new strings on the guitar. You can probably hear it's already out of tune.
I think it sounds great, Bill. You sound fantastic.
Good. How are you?
Oh, there I am. I'm good. I'm just waking up. It's 1 o'clock here in the Yukon, and I've got this part-time, full-time, all of a sudden, night shift job that I'm doing as an essential worker here. And it's keeping me tired. Yeah, but I'm okay.
What kind of job is it?
Working with kids at risk youth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you sort of stay with them all night long?
7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
That's 12 hours. Holy moly.
Mm-hmm. So I woke up about an hour ago, so that's 5 hours of sleep. So I'm going to try to be fast as I can. My daughter decided that I should wake up with 4 hours of sleep. She said that I look good enough to cuddle a little early this morning. So I'm glad to be here, Bill. That's all I can say. I may not remember this, but I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad to catch up with you. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. I was thinking, when is the last time I saw you? And it was, I believe, in Port Dover with Brock, yourself and Brock and I. But I'm trying to remember if it was then or if it was in across America in 2012. I can't remember.
Oh no, it was definitely after that. It was definitely after that. Yeah.
Okay, it was after that. Okay, yes.
Yeah, we were at the Twisted Fish in downtown Porto, which has since moved a little bit, but
yeah.
Yeah, I went to your show.
I just want to say that, Bill, you haven't aged a second. You look fantastic.
Likewise. Yeah, I would say the same for you.
That's very kind, Bill.
Yeah, well, it's also very true. So have you managed to get any art done while you've been?
Well,
have you written any songs?
You know, when you have a small child in your house, it's interesting. I noticed when this started happening, all the musicians that were able to were always online constantly, every 2 hours. And I thought, okay, those are the ones. How are they able to do that? Because I can't. I don't get a break. And I thought it was pretty funny that I think, okay, now I know who has kids and who doesn't. You know, and in a week I realized who has kids and who doesn't have kids. So I don't have time to be live streaming. And also, it kind of felt like I was walking down a bad folk music conference hallway with 3 people in every room all trying to pull me inside to hear 2 songs. So it was sort of my worst nightmare. That happening along with my child going, Dad, 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 Dad. And I realized, I didn't realize, you know, the kids talk so much because they usually spend their day somewhere else. So I haven't eaten her yet, but I've come pretty close. I got her halfway down my throat, and I realized, you know, this is not legal. I shouldn't be doing this. And she said, you know, Dad, you're not allowed to eat children. And
that's true.
You know, so we're here, Bill. We've made it here this far. But that's really what I've been doing. In a nutshell.
You seem like someone who was surprised to have a small child in your house. Is it? Did it come as a surprise to you?
Yeah, I have 3 children I know of, Bill, and well, this is the 3rd one, and it was a surprise. She came into our life about 4 years ago, and she hasn't left yet. It's amazing, you know. It's amazing. You feed and water somebody, and they start calling you Dad, and they hug you a couple times, and then your heart starts growing, and then especially with a daughter, you lose all spine you have. You know, I have no spine left, right? She says whatever she wants, and she gets it. Unless my wife is around, then she doesn't. You know, right? But a lot changed since I last saw you, and as well, I see some things have changed for you. I noticed there's this beautiful woman walking in the background of your behind your head, Bill. I've noticed that, and it's the same one. I think that's important. You know, the woman is walking behind you. You know, it's great. It's great to see. It looks good on you.
I'm very fortunate. Yeah.
Yes, I can see that.
Well, I was glad to see Kelly earlier, and I recall watching you with your kids, with your boys, and you were pretty tough. You were pretty tough with the boys. You weren't tough on them, but you were tough with them. I mean, it was rough and tough.
Well, I don't know. It's just you know, you have a son, right? And it's a funny thing. Like it's a daughter is a different thing. I don't know. Maybe it's the 3rd one too, right? So maybe I'm getting weaker or something and older, slowing down, Bill.
Well, Blue would challenge me to do things, and I would say no. But I would see you do them with him, but also with other boys, your boys.
I think it's really good to torture, especially when they're small. You get some really good torture type habits in that they'll respond to you, you know, forever, right? I know you're not supposed to beat children. It's not okay to do that. But if you do it while they're laughing, it's legal. I think it's legal, you know?
Very good. Well, you have your guitar handy?
I do.
You want to play us a song?
I do. I'm going to play you a song I wrote for my wife. I'm going to play this song because, well, today is the day after Mother's Day, and she's the glue that holds us together. And I still can't believe she agreed to marry me. And this is a song about that, and it goes like this. Get myself in here. She married me. She wasn't late. Everything bent, fell straight. The dark broke, gone with the blue. So much love, nothing to lose. From out of town, they flew in. James and Judy Barb and Kim, she looked up and said, I do certainly put up with you. When the wandering stops and the heartache drops, fate and coincidence shot. When the weight wears thin, time begins, endless moments are lost, but they're just lost. They're just lost. When I snore like a bear, she plugs her ears, pulls my hair. Well, she picks up after me when I pick up after me. Loves my kids like her own. I love her mom on the telephone. Talks too much, and so do I. Better lock your doors when we're coming by. When the wandering stops and the heartache drops, fate and coincidence shot. When the weight wears thin, time begins, endless moments are lost, but they're just lost. They're just lost. They're just lost. Well, my life has changed so much. I'm learning to breathe when I eat my lunch. Everything is so damn clean. You oughta drop by, smell the Febreze. Her favorite sound that I found is when I put the toilet seat down like a frisky cat. She's my babe. I get to make love every day. Like you, Bill. In my mind, when the wandering stops and the heartache drops, fate and coincidence shot. When the weight wears thin, time begins, endless moments are lost. They're just lost. They're just lost. They're just lost. They're just lost.
You got a full stop. I apologize for popping myself into your song there, but
No worries.
I thought you were done.
It felt like someone was watching, you know?
Sorry?
It was good to feel like somebody was watching, you know?
Well, I tried to give you the spotlight there, you know, get my mug out.
I'm trying to fix my camera angle so that you're not blinded by the light, you know?
Okay, look.
I see you got a little sunshine. It's relentless here, Bill. It's driving me crazy, you know? Driving me crazy.
What is it like up there? What is it like up there? I mean, you guys getting into the long days right now, aren't you?
Yeah, the sun's up till about 11 at night, and it's up at around 5:30 in the morning. It's starting to become a little bit, well, it reminds you of where you live. And it's about 20 degrees here, 20 to 23 degrees. And it's been a long winter, though. We've had a long, tough, slow, kind of painful winter. I got a chance to miss quite a bit of it, but it's just, you know, it's not ending. But it is now. It's officially done, I think.
Yeah. Well, so for those of you who are watching, 23 degrees Celsius will be something like 74, 72, 74 degrees Fahrenheit, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's about 15 degrees warmer than it is here, probably. At least.
Yeah, that's pretty much sun tanning weather here, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we start getting naked as soon as it hits 15 degrees here. In fact, I have no pants on right now, so what I've really been enjoying about these internet things is that you don't have to wear pants, you know?
Yeah.
You can just, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I watched a Zoom video earlier where somebody flushed the toilet right in the middle of an official. I thought that's getting a little too familiar, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have the COVID up there?
We have 11 cases, and we're all recovered in 7 weeks. So the thing is, our problem might be we have, for those that don't know where I am, I'm kind of right beside Alaska. I'm a little northeast of Alaska, or actually east of Alaska, about 3 hours, and for our American friends down there, and we have 40,000 people, 448,000 hectares of land to spread these people out on. We also have to share them with 80,000 moose as well. So if we keep a moose width apart here, we're okay, and we've all kept a caribou or a moose between us. That's not hard to do. And so asking a Yukoner to self-isolate it's like reminding them of what they're doing anyways. And to get 50 people together here is really hard. It's hard to do as it is. So we're very lucky. And, you know, in 15 minutes, I'm on the top of a mountain here with nobody else. The worst part about that is that we're so good at isolating ourselves that we may never be able to leave. And for a touring musician, I've got tours planned till next May in 5 or 6 different countries. And I'm really curious to see if I'll be able to do any of those tours. And the cool part about, well, there's no cool part about this really, other than the wonderful time you get to spend with your family. And is that I'm in between major touring chunks. So I just I was in New Zealand for a month. And then I remember being in New Zealand, February 24th, sitting in a vineyard with some promoter and having a glass of wine and him saying to me, "Have you heard of the corona virus?" And I said, "No, I have not heard of that." And then next thing you know, I'm hearing about it in my hometown within like weeks, like everybody. So I have shows that start at the end of June in Alaska, and then I just got my American visa to perform in the U.S. last week. I know, which blows my mind.
Exciting. Did you get the O visa?
It's kind of exciting, and my friends in Alaska have said, the promoters in Alaska have said, "Hey, we'll see you soon." And I'm like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll see you soon. We'll let you Canadians in, but no one from the lower 48."
Oh, really?
Well, jokingly.
Oh.
Up here in Alaska. So I'm kind of curious to see. My first show is June 18th, and they're telling me that it may be an outdoor experience, which is fine with me. And I've got tours through the summer. Things in Western Canada have fallen through for festivals and stuff like that I was doing. So yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm finding it very interesting being in touch with different booking agents in different parts of the New Zealand and Australia, who are, I'm supposed to be there in January and next March. And they're like, "Hey, see you soon. Can't wait." And I'm supposed to be in the U.S. next April and May on the West Coast and the southern U.S. And some states are saying, "Hey, can't wait to have you." Other ones are like, "Well, you're not coming. If you've been to Oregon, you're not coming to California." Anyways, it's just, it's really strange to see this all happen with my little music career, because how everyone's responding to it, and what they're doing and what they're saying, and watching this all fall. And for me, I'm just grateful that I live where I live, and I'm able to have this time, a kind of a timeout while Mother Nature resets herself.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk more about that in a minute, but will you play us another song? We sort of try to get a song every 10 minutes or something to keep people from.
Totally. Yeah. Nobody wants to hear me talk anyways here.
I love hearing you talk. It's just break it up. I got to break it up.
Okay.
Or I get in trouble.
All right. I'm supposed to be. I don't know if any of my friends. Sorry.
Before you do it, I want to say before I forget this. So, some folks have been talking. Some folks who listen to this podcast regularly, or whatever this is, have been reading my book or talking about the book. Gordie's actually in the book. There's a photograph. I believe there's a photograph of Gordie in the Bill Potts retrospective. So if you not retrospective, travelogue. So if you have the book, you can look him up and see what he is. So it looks like a full length, not just with his pants on. All right, I'm out of the way.
I just want to say, Bill, that was an amazing experience to go across the U.S. from Chicago to Santa Monica with you and all our other friends that are listening that were on that trip. That was a pretty crazy thing to do. But one of the most amazing things I've ever done. I'm going to play a little tune now for my friends in Europe. I hope you're tuning in from the Netherlands in particular. This is a song I wrote about waking up one morning after sleeping in the same bed as Towns Van Zandt and Mary Gauthier. Let's see here. Out of bed, half dead, to a goose egg and bacon spread, chocolate Duval haze, so far away, shifty post loft, Eindhoven to Galdrop, lost between the sheets, these lines fell over me, less is more. Sorry, babe, I'm rolling in the hay. Van Zandt and Gauthier. Between the daylight and the dark, to live is to fly. Christmas and paradise, waiting around to die. For the sake of the song, I ain't got no home. If I needed you, false from true. Time has snapped, lost in a flash. Melody is free, just not for me. Fixing to cook lines with hooks. Words are cast, some tend to last. Less is more. Sorry, babe, I'm rolling in the hay with Van Zandt and Gauthier. In the daylight and the dark, to live is to fly. Christmas and paradise, waiting round to die. For the sake of the song, I ain't got no home. I needed you, false from true. Thank you.
Hey, that's some good company right there. That's some good company.
Thank you. Yeah, It was a great reason to write a song. It was a great reason to, they said, who slept in that bed? And I said, no. And they said, Towns and Mary at different points. And I had just met Mary on that tour with you for the first time, which is amazing. If you don't, I'm sure most of you know who Mary is, but she's amazing.
She's been on the show, so most people have heard that interview. But I reached out to Towns Van Zant's people about getting him on the show, but they have not responded.
Yeah, well, some people are a little too, they're a little too serious about the spill.
I hear he's a bit stiff anyway, so
bit cold.
Well, let's tell the folks about that tour that we did. I had known Gordie from over the years. He had played at the Fred Eaglesmith picnic and some other things that we were both party to, and the Fred Eaglesmith Traveling Steam Show did a caravan from Chicago to Santa Monica, California. We took the Route 66 all the way from its beginning point to its end point, and we did 17 shows in 18 days. And then there was a bus of Fred fans and other just travelers, I guess, but people who came from different countries. But I think we had about anywhere from 40 to 60 people with us the whole way, and I was driving a bus. You were traveling in your own vehicle, right?
Yeah, I was driving a soccer mom van with a horse trailer behind it.
Yeah, and Kelly was on the show. Kelly was on part of the thing. She kind of came and went, right?
She joined. It's funny. We met actually before that tour, and I said I'm doing this kind of tour across the U.S. and she said I'm going to Tuscany to grow tomatoes with an old man. But you seem if anyone knows my wife, they know exactly what I'm. They are not going to blink when she travels more than I do, and I'm supposed to be a touring musician. Anyway, she says I'm going to Tuscany to grow some tomatoes. But that looks like fun. I'm going to fly in maybe on the tour. And she flew in, actually, and surprised me. I didn't know she was coming. And we had met several times, and we're starting to get to know each other. And she spent 8 weeks with us on that tour through that whole thing. And I thought, man, if she can spend 8 weeks with the crew that I was traveling with, I better marry that girl twice, So I did. Anyway, that was... For me, that was a bonus. The tour was really amazing, but that whole tour was it was 21 days, 18 concerts, and I met you guys, and John D. Graham was on it, Bobby Fulks, Mary Gaucher, dropping in and out of the sky.
John D. Graham.
Oh, man, unbelievable. That was unbelievable. The crazy part was that little stint, that 21-day stint, was in the middle of this ridiculous tour that I had done in 8 countries which was 144 concerts in 148 days. So we only had 4 days off and nearly 150 days, all the way from the Yukon to Italy at Christmas. We left the Yukon in July and got to Italy at Christmas. And after that tour was done, I didn't come out of my house for 3 months. I lost a shit ton of money on it. I nearly lost my soul. I thought I was never going to play music again or leave my house, and it nearly killed me. But it changed everything for me after that tour.
Yeah, well, you got married. You got a wife out of the deal. So
I got a wife out of the deal. Yeah.
Cool. And I got something out of it from you, which is that I got to meet the Bottle Cap Barn folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in Oklahoma. Norman or Edmond?
Edmond. Yeah.
Edmond, okay.
Alicia and Ben and Judy and James. And Jackson Haldane was also there. I don't know if you remember Jackson, but I got to say that he would make an incredible guest on the show.
Okay.
Incredible guest. I would recommend getting him as soon as possible. I see your Thursday slots open. I don't know what he's doing with his life, but he would look really good on Thursday. Just saying.
I appreciate that the suggestion. I will take this moment to tell people we have a very I'm a little nervous about our guest tomorrow because I've been a fan of Bruce Robinson for maybe 20 years. A huge fan. I wore his records out, and he's going to be on the show tomorrow, so that's exciting.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then on Wednesday, my good friend Charlie Roth will be here. Charlie, all my Moccasin Creek Festival fans will know Charlie Roth. He's a staple at the festival. And then on Thursday, we have a wild card. Still don't know who's going to be here on Thursday. Maybe Jackson, is that his name?
Jackson Haldane, yeah, from the D Rangers.
Yeah. And then on Friday, who do I have? Oh, my good friend Mike Kerr, another Canadian. Mike Kerr from Toronto is going to. Mike Kerr, I tell you, I know a lot of good guitar players, and he's one of the very best. So,
I love what you're doing, Bill. I think it's great. I'm honored to be doing this with you. Thanks for including me.
I really appreciate you taking the time and getting up early, out of bed early today, so that you could join us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that tour was. It was sort of the end. It was sort of the end of my. I mean, I stayed with the tour for another 8 months, but that was when I decided I was going to be done with the traveling steam show. You know, that was
yeah.
it.
And it was so many pivotal things were happening on that tour. And honestly, for me, I thought I was done playing music. I thought I'd never play another note. It broke me.
Really?
I'm kidding. It broke me. I kept a smile on my face for 150 days. And just watch my pockets get ripped open financially, and then I give credit to myself, and that I don't think anyone really knew about that, or I hope any of my bandmates don't resent me for watching that. It's very tough to keep your chin up while you're losing your shirt and your pants at the same time.
Right.
But what it did was it made me think about what I wanted to do and how I was going to do it, and it changed absolutely everything. And I've probably had the most productive touring and most enjoyment ever playing music after that. Literally the last 5 years for sure have been my favorite 5 years of this whole experience, and I've never enjoyed it more. Yeah.
So they got some people chiming in. Tim Brown chiming in about the caravan. He had a great time with us, and he called you out by name and me. Andrew Tyson, he was on that trip, and he makes a note that Audrey Auld was also on that tour.
Audrey, yes.
Yeah. God bless rest her soul, right? Yeah.
What a gem.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun to be with. Who was the guy from Chicago? John.
Robbie Folks.
No, him too. I mean, he's.
He's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I get giddy about Robbie Folks, but anyway, John. He was in a band called the.
John Langford.
Yeah, John Langford. Yeah.
What the heck?
Right. I don't know.
Unbelievable. I remember, Bill, you making tacos on the side of the road, and I sat down, and they're like, Mary Gaucher's here now. She's going to be playing the shows. And I'm like, what? And Bill's making tacos, breakfast tacos. And by the way, Bill, you're so wonderful that you're so inspiring that whole tour. So Bill's making breakfast tacos, and everybody says, Mary's just over there, including Kelly, my future wife. She's like, don't you really like her? And I'm like, do you want to go meet her? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, you should meet her because you're going to be with her every day. And I thought, and Fred's like, have you met Mary yet? And I kind of avoided her for the first day. I was so freaked out that she was actually there in the flesh. And then I remember, having more tacos, breakfast tacos with her the next day, and her saying, nice to meet you. My name's Mary. And I'm like, my name is. And she said, where are you from? And I went, and then all I could say was, she kind of looked at me, and then she kind of looked at Fred and thought, okay. And I said, I've been a huge fan. I fall asleep to your music every night on my laptop on my chest. And she said, you fall asleep to it? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Anyway, we became friends, and she gave me all kinds of personal relationship advice, and she called me up on stage a few times to play slide guitar with her. And that was a highlight for me. My God, highlight for me. Man,
yeah. Well, she was a pleasure to be. We had actually a really funny experience because she was upset because she was in the hotel lobby. We were going to play it at the hotel bar that night, and so she wanted to get out of there, but she had nowhere to go. She was riding on the bus. So I said I'm going to ride my bike down to the Mexican restaurant. You want to come with me and get some food? She said, oh, do you have an extra bike? I said, yeah, I got an extra bike. So we rode down. We got all this food. They didn't have any bags, and so they put all the food in a box instead of the bags. So we had to carry this thing, this big box, right? And so I'm carrying it on my shoulder, and riding the bike, and she's riding a bike, an extra bike, and she's like waving everybody away. Well, about a mile from getting back to the hotel, the fajita juice starts dripping down my arm, down my shoulder, into my shirt, and she is laughing her head off and trying to keep the traffic, away. And it was a memorable experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and I loved on that tour, they would say to you, okay, this week you get to host a campfire jam for all the people attending, and your job is to do it with some guy named John D. Graham, and we're going to put you in a motel parking lot between two 1970s motels. We're just going to put a fire ring and some lawn chairs, and you just go and meet this guy named John, and you got to lead this campfire jam. And all the people on the tour are going to bring their instruments because most of them can play music. And I remember meeting John D. Graham and going, "Oh man, this guy's going to eat me. He seems so mean and furry, and furry and hairy and stuff." And like he had eaten other younger songwriters. So we became fast friends, and I remember thinking, "Oh man, this is one highlight after another. I can't believe I got to do that." And I'm glad you were on that tour, Bill. You really inspired me because I'd never seen anyone really travel with their kids before and play music. And I'd sort of been doing it at festivals just over the weekend, which was manageable. But you had your little mini-me dragging him around the country and educating him and taking him on the road, man. It was unbelievably inspiring.
He was on the road for 4 years.
Unbelievable. What an experience. So I'm going to play a song for you, Bill, because I think, we all come, there's, this song is for anyone actually out there that has to parent a child with someone they don't love as much as they used to. And when I think of Bill, I think of one of the most stellar fathers I've ever met, who's so in tune with his child. And this song's you don't have to be a deadbeat dad, just another man lost inside his head. You can make an awful huge comeback. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad. You can be the kind of man that helps a little man up from the ground when he's knocked down by another little man that might also be a little man left behind by an even bigger little man. Ask any woman who has to explain. It's not a mustache you're trying to shave. Here's my last pink razor blade. What would your father say if he wasn't off chasing old what's-her-name playing golf again? Never leave a little man alone for the first time. That's a sad time to shave alone. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad, just another man lost inside his head. You can make an awful huge comeback. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad. So pull up your pants, lace up the blades, throw the ball around, lay the love down. Get off the gravy train, get on the D train, deal with Nicky Lake, not just birthdays. Ask any woman who has to explain. That's not a third leg you're trying to shake, and yes, it grows when the wind blows. What would your father say if he wasn't off chasing old what's-her-name, snorting cocaine? Never leave a little man alone with a bone the first time. That's a big time in the own yard alone. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad, just another man lost inside his head. You can make an awful huge comeback. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad. Hey, long shot, there's a comeback slot. You ain't dead yet, you just shit the bed. Turn up the heat in your cold house, put a freckled face in a picture frame. Just ask any woman who has to explain. It's not about you, it's not about me. but about the little man lost at sea. Get over yourself, get over me, get under something else to get over me. Let's go camping every year. We'll head down to Effingham, Illinois, take in the Moccasin Creek Festival, because Bill runs it and he's a stellar dad. You don't have to be dead. Just another man lost inside his head. You can make an awful huge comeback. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad. There's single dads with 8 different babies from 8 different mamas get a lot more loving if they help pull the bun from the oven. Just ask me. It happened twice. Now one's my accountant, the other my webmaster. And if you want to feed a hungry child in the Yukon, you can go to tentrees.ca. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad. Just another man lost inside his head. You can make an awful huge comeback. Yeah, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad. No, you don't have to be. You don't have to be, not even during a pandemic. You don't have to be, call home once a week. You don't have to be, all the single fathers out there. You don't have to be, and all the single mothers too. You don't have to be. You don't have to be deadbeat dad.
You want to come and say hi, JJ?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get JJ to come over here and say, give you a virtual introduction.
Okay.
Gordie
Hi,
Tentree.
JJ.
Hi, Gordie. Nice to
I'm
meet
one of
you.
your stalkers on Face Crack. I don't know if you noticed me, but I've been stalking you because I was stalking Bill, and then you looked a little better than Bill, so I just kept, like, not that Bill's not a handsome fella, but then I just kept, anyways, here we are.
And okay, good to know. I'll look for you.
Okay.
I like that song. I think I remember that song.
Thank you. It's I remember playing that song in Osage Beach, Missouri, for the first time at the end of a show where I felt like everybody was liking me, and there was a woman in the front row, a young woman, and the whole front row jumped up and with a big excitement, and I realized afterwards that she had taken both sets of her parents out to my show and bought them tickets as a way to have dinner at a hangout. And they since started a Deadbeat Dad Society, and this was years ago now. But it's been really interesting. There's parts of that song. I love that song, personally.
I was trying to remember the name of the hotel. It was actually a famous hotel from Route 66. It was in Lebanon, Missouri. Maybe Tyson, you remember the name? Tim, you remember the name? Like the Moxley Hotel or something. Remember that place where you had the campfire? Oh, you're frozen now.
No, I'm back now.
Okay. Do you remember the name of that hotel? You're freezing up. But anyway, it was a really cool Route 66 motel, and I'm wishing he would come on here and tell me about it, but it was one of those days I had the night off. Gordie, have I lost you? Nope.
No, I can see you. We're kind of shutting down and we're coming back, but I think.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna play a song and then hopefully he'll come back. Don't go anywhere. Gordie, there's just if you can hear me, there's just a series of he's gone now. All right, well, I guess that's the end of the interview. He's gone. He disappeared. But if he shows up again, all right, I guess I'm going to call it a day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go see Gordie's website. He's at www.tentrees.ca. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow I have Bruce Robison. And some of you may not even know who Bruce Robison is, but I can tell you that if you listen to any kind of Americana music or country music from the 90s and aughts, you would know some of the songs he wrote. Traveling Soldier, which was a #1 hit for the Dixie Chicks. In fact, it was the #1 hit for the Dixie Chicks when they got kicked out of country music. So Bruce may have lost some revenue out of that deal. I don't know. But he wrote a number of songs that were covered by some of the great country stars of that era. And he also wrote one of my favorite satire songs called "What Would Willie Do?" And maybe we'll get him to sing that tomorrow on the show. I don't know if he'll do that or not. Okay, well, thanks to Gordie Tentrees. That was a great conversation, and I hope that you enjoyed him. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Then Wednesday, Charlie Roth. Friday, Mike T. Kerr from Toronto, Canada. And Thursday, we don't know yet. So it's going to be a surprise.